like that. It's
well, I chummed the waters early. I sent it out yesterday because usually what we do is we send out the
crowd, man.
Well, they're eager. It was very nice to get messages like, "Hey, when are you guys doing this week's Handsome Hour?"
Yeah,
like, that's nice. I got that from many one or two people.
Well, it depends on who the people are, like how forceful they are with their
hello.
I don't want to say nagging, but
The camera it's bothering me now. I just went to like scratch my finger and it's right in your face.
Knuckle cam.
All
right,
are we ready?
By Derek.
So we're live?
We're live, but no one's joined us.
I don't know why I looked off camera like that. I looked off camera. I was looking at our producer. So are you ready to start?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Handsome Hour. It is Notre Dame week. It is a Thursday Handsome Hour. And it is your undefeated Boilermakers against the barely undefeated. Purdue has won handily in 2 games. Notre Dame has barely eked out 2 wins. So somehow now, so many of you are talking yourselves into this. They were talking themselves into this last show. Remember that? Before UConn, They were saying they were dreaming of the Notre Dame win. And nothing that's happened over the past week has done anything to dissuade those people. So, man.
Well, let's talk about an important issue before we jump into anything. There we go. Nate's here. Good. Welcome, Nate. The audience of 1 is all we need. You guys took a monkey off the back and threw it 100 yards. You guys killed it. Talk about it. Tell me what you did to change things, guys.
So here's the thing. I don't think we ever had a curse on us. I think we are the good luck charm. We are the people now that are necessary in the audience for Purdue to win. And it's really, I really do wish that there was a way that one of us, at the very least, one of us, or at least, the 3 of us, J Money Jr. also came. So maybe a plurality of us, 2 out of 3 of us, if possible. It would be great if we could have some sort of showing this week.
Is there a way to do that? Is there a way to make that happen? though?
It's up to science. I'm not entirely sure.
I will be attending every Purdue road game until this winning streak is over. I think that's a fair.
Whoa.
Yikes!
That was funny.
Why is that funny? Why is that funny?
I don't know if you realize what you just said. I will be attending this winning streak for every game until it's over.
Yes, so I will be there Saturday, and there will be a part of me hoping they don't win because then I'll have to go. I don't even know where they go next. They come home for Illinois, and after that, I don't look ahead. I take one game at a time.
That's right.
I'm like a coach. I don't care.
Minnesota's at home, so there's 2 at home. Then so it's Illinois.
Is it Iowa?
By Minnesota at Iowa.
Oh dear.
Oh my goodness.
That didn't go out. That's not recorded, is it?
Oh, it is. It is. But the only person who's really heard it so far is the 2 of us and Nate.
Well, I think Anish is right that we are good luck. Had we not been at the Missouri game, imagine it would have been out of control. Had we not been at that bowl game in Nashville, man, it would have been really ugly. So
by the way, there are projections right now for Purdue to go to their first Music City Bowl.
Their first
Music City Bowl.
They're actually doing bowl projections already?
Oh, yeah, they are. And LBD has been reading them to me every morning pretty much. So
I think Anish and I should do everything together from now on. Everything Boiled Sports related we should do together.
What will your wives think?
I said Boiled Sports related.
Oh, okay.
In fact.
Okay. Whew.
Is that even possible? Do we know? Like, are we
the magic of TV.
It would be great if he would be.
He's here! Oh, he's here! He's here! Can he come here?
Those jokes are only funny to us.
No one else. Oh no, we're not. We're turning you off now. We're turning you off now. You're over here now. You're over here forever.
So do I need this?
Yeah, because you still got to hear. There's no way for you to hear otherwise.
I don't know how this works.
You could just have it over the air like I do at my house and annoy my whole family. So,
is it really?
Oh yeah, I don't have. Look, no headphones.
Listen, so that's why we were recording this last week, and Mike was asking me questions, and like in the background, and he was in fact saying like comments to me, trash talking me where I couldn't see it. You know that the camera's over here.
I
right?
was trying to join
You know,
again
the camera-
from another. Trying to join another one just to ruin your little bit here.
No, you can't. I turned you off. I am the god here. Oh, okay.
This is how we'll handle this.
Exactly. That's not bad. There we go. See,
we
actually have the same laptop, so I have solved the knuckle cam situation.
Really?
But J Money has not. He doesn't have the funds to do so.
He has an external knuckle cam, not knuckle cam. I'd forgotten we have the same laptop. I have this stupid laptop because Anish made me get it.
I did at gunpoint.
So what we got to tell, because there are many people that won't be watching this and they're just listening.
Certainly not anymore.
And they have no idea what's going on because it's. I mean, number one, it's chaos. But so if you're tuning in via audio,
don't call me chaos.
Yes,
Jay,
right. I just walked into
Jay and
the shop.
Anish are in the same location. They are in the Pittsburgh area. Are in Pittsburgh proper? I really don't know.
Pittsburgh proper. We
In
have
Pittsburgh
moved in
proper
together. We've
as
decided.
Jay passes through,
It's-
makes the long journey
Look at this
from
ridiculous background.
Jersey to Pittsburgh to South Bend.
I'll be doing that drive for every Handsome Hour going forward. A lot of
You're gonna go to
stations.
South Bend?
I will be coming to Pittsburgh for every Handsome Hour.
Okay, yeah, a lot of
Every
promises
Tuesday,
in there.
Wednesday, or Thursday night, I will make the trek. Get home at about 4 or 5 in the morning. Oh, it's a minor commitment, but I think it's.
So let me ask you guys both a question because Max says it in the margin over here. He says Purdue's going to win 48-35. We have another, and I can't remember right now who it is. It's another good BSer who says if Purdue scores in the 40s, they win. I want to ask them what they're drinking or smoking to think Purdue's going to score in the 40s because we haven't really seen a reason. I mean, if they play UConn, they'll score in the 40s.
Scored 32 weeks ago and 49 last week.
What offense?
They're
are you
averaging
watching?
40.
Hey, all of the advanced stats say that Purdue. All of the advanced stats say that Purdue is going to beat Notre Dame because we put up 49-0 against the powerhouse that is UConn, which we saw in person.
Fiesta Bowl, UConn.
Well, so how do you guys feel right now? Realistic. I don't want to give any predictor. Do you guys feel like? Is it like you have a 90% or a 95% chance of Purdue winning right now?
Well, so scientifically, I think 90. We're not going to go overboard here.
Yeah, don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
Exactly. 1 out of every 20 times, Notre Dame, whatever. 1 out of 10 times Notre Dame could win. Yeah, sure. So I think 9 out of 10 times this game is played, Purdue is going to win. Yes, correct.
Yeah. Well, it's. I definitely. I don't feel.
Why are you looking over there?
Why can't I
You're
look
looking
at my
over
own
there.
computer?
Why are you looking off screen? It's off the rails.
So, let me just address something here. Jared Galama, friend of the show, comments, as Anish would say, 40 American points. Says, J Money, tech genius. I would like to address, this is the second direct shot at me by a friend of the show.
It hurts.
Well, you know where I'm going.
Bullet Sports sponsored by Gridiron Metalworks. Gridiron, where if you post a picture of yourself, Derek will insult you.
Derek will call you fat.
Yeah.
He went for the jugular.
He did. That was mean-spirited.
He said, those Martin Vintage shirts are nice, and they are. They're beautiful. And
they're very nice. They feel great, especially when they're tied against your body.
Hate all of you.
It was to be fair, it was the least photogenic picture of me also that has been taken. It was taken stomach level.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a bad picture. You don't look bad. Don't start getting all that way.
Don't let Derek make me feel that way.
Listen, if you want something from Martin Vintage, you want a nice T-shirt, you want to look good in your gray T-shirt like Jay, and they're boiled at checkout, you get 15% off.
And you're what at checkout for 15% off?
Boiled.
Perfect.
And this is new.
Yeah.
If you enter boiled at checkout on gridironmetalworks.com checkout, 15% off.
You can bankrupt him if you wanted
That's
to.
right. Buy
Gridiron
Metalwork stuff, and he will not be able to keep up with the demand. Yeah. However, I want one other thing about Martin Vintage. Free ship Martin Vintage. This is actually just one. I'm getting my own voice back through my ear because Anish is not a tech genius.
Uh-huh.
And Martin Vintage is free shipping through the weekend, by the way, for everyone.
Really?
But
Even
especially
with
for Boiled Sports fans.
Okay, that's awesome. So that's extra percentages. This is off. So 50% off plus free shipping. That's like 80% off.
Oh, you're getting an echo in your headset, aren't you?
I am.
Oh, I understand. That's why I was telling you to plug into here, but you're too high tech with your Bluetooth. I could have gotten us a splitter like we were watching a romantic comedy in an airplane.
We're figuring this
together.
out.
Yeah.
Where is it?
It's upstairs. We weren't prepared for this. We weren't prepared for such contingencies.
Well,
I know.
You can go upstairs.
I can go upstairs. Will you guys be able to handle this on your own? Have you ever done that?
I don't know.
Fine. Go ahead.
Handsome from the neck up, R. Miller says.
Gosh, a lot of bombs being thrown your way. You don't
mean-spirited is all I can say.
I'm glad the little that prompter's working. So today, in case you're wondering, Lil Money, what's his nickname?
J Money Jr.
J Money Jr. J Money Jr. And Jay and Anish went to a Pirates game.
That's right.
If you were there, you would have seen them because it looks like no one was there. It was attended about like the UConn game.
How do I make that go away?
Oh,
it's gone off the rails while you've been gone.
This is what I'm saying.
This has been. We got to gather it, guys. We got to gather it. We're known for discipline.
We are known for very controlled, focused podcasts. So,
a nice, tight 45 minutes is what we always guarantee the listener, right? Isn't that what we say?
Oh yeah. I think we've been pretty true to that too.
Yeah,
so
really.
So.
In case you don't know, in all seriousness, this is it's an old joke. The reason it's called the Handsome Hour, it was never an hour long. Right? It really wasn't. It was like a goal, and we get 115, 120, 2 hours,
Yeah. So I was going to jump right into the comments because Anish is doing the tech work right now. John Faker tells us to take a look at the Nebraska remaining schedule if you want to laugh. Oh, don't worry, John. I look at it all the time.
This weekend is the only downside for you going.
I can't watch the Oklahoma.
Watch Oklahoma.
I know. I can't watch Oklahoma, Nebraska because I'm going to the Notre Dame Purdue game, and I probably am not looking forward to a game more than that one.
Oh, it's amazing.
You've been talking about that since July.
Since it went on the schedule.
That's true. That's true.
Game all year,
right?
No matter who wins, it's going to be the funniest result.
I don't want to see Nebraska win that game, and I don't want to see them just lose it. I don't want a moral victory either. I don't want 24-21 they lose and they have something to build on. I want them to lose 65.
Would you like this headset, or would you like these headphones? Okay, fine. Look at this. I have to do everything for this show. Do you see how I'm keeping?
I know you're keeping it going. You're keeping it going.
Do you see? I know it keeps my checks flowing. This is how it pays for this chateau that he's in.
That's right. So the last time Purdue played Notre Dame was 2014. Jay and I were there. It was in Lucas Oil. And I think Purdue lost 31-14. Really not a fun game to watch, if I remember correctly. Is my memory not serving me?
What's that? The legend of Danny Etling.
You had think about it, you had 3 NFL players on the field, 4, right? But there was lots of speed. You had Mostert and Hunt, and yet Purdue really wasn't in that game, right? Notre Dame wore really stupid uniforms, if I'm remembering correctly. The year before that, I think Purdue lost by 7-10, something like that, at Notre Dame.
Right.
And that was the one where they split time, right? Was that Turbush and Marv splitting time?
Wasn't that when Marv got hurt? They opened a season against Notre Dame.
Yeah.
During the Hope era, they opened the season, and that was one of the times. I believe that's one of the times he hurt his knee, and yet came back later that season. Remember how he finished that year? Wasn't it Hope's last year?
Yeah.
He wound up winning the. Yes, he had a crucial drop in that game. Yeah. Well, were they one drop away from winning? I don't know about that, but
my favorite memory was the Curtis Painter year. The Curtis Painter 12.com year where we started 5-0 and it was
they beat the worst Charlie Weiss Notre Dame team you've ever seen?
Yeah, in the child murderer's tenure at Notre Dame. I'm sorry, what did he not murder a kid?
Not a child.
Did he not murder a child? Oh no, you're right. He murdered a young adult, young man.
Yeah, young adult was better, more accurate.
In the Brian Kelly era, it's been bad. There have been 4 games, I think, since Kelly, and they've all been our Boiled Sports researchers.
I got to tell you, so the worst era of Purdue football versus Notre Dame was the Holtz era, in my memory. And people older than me might be able to tell me another time, but the Holtz era, not only did Purdue lose, they'd lose by like a bazillion almost every time, right? At least in the Kelly era, they lose by a couple touchdowns. He kind of calls off the dogs. He says, well, you guys are cute there in Lafayette.
Don't want to injure them. This is the Wikipedia is just got so much blue on it.
There is a little blue, although there's a stretch there from the mid 50s to late 60s when Purdue really owned it.
Yeah. Well, Fat Jack.
So
Fat Jack and Joe Tiller are really the only 2 Purdue coaches that consistently.
Here's a little Notre Dame.
Dave would probably argue about this because he knows more about old timey stuff than I do.
Dave was on campus, I think. Then
that's right.
The
graduated 51.
Notre Dame Purdue football trivia. Did you know that Purdue has beaten Notre Dame in back-to-back seasons twice in the last 36 years? That's kind of surprising. They beat them in 84 and 85.
Yep, I was at those games.
Indy and West Lafayette.
Yep.
Then they lost 12 in a row. Then they won.
How's that many of those too?
Then they won in 97, right? Then they won in 99. And the one in between that in South Bend. And I don't remember this. In 98, they lost 31.
That was Gary Gottes's game, wasn't it?
31-30 up in Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think Gary Gottesy won that game. That's the one where they had a tight end. A tight end won the game. Do you remember him?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Goodness
and then
gracious.
the other back-to-back was 03-04. Everybody remembers 04 because they went up to South Bend and just demolished them.
Yeah.
The first time in South Bend since 74. So that's the only win in South Bend in our lifetimes.
And that's kind of our point, right? When we see all these websites favoring Purdue, we go deep into our memory bank and our knowledge of Purdue versus Notre Dame, and we say this place is scary bad for Purdue.
It's just like seeing Purdue being favored against Wisconsin. Nope. I will never believe it, or anybody picking an upset in West Lafayette or in wherever they are, Madison.
Right, we've got to see proof, right? We really do. I think that's not a bad thing to ask for. And I think saying Purdue's going to play well and get within.
It'd be fun to see them play well. So where do you think there will be positive? Because I don't think any of us are on the train that it's going to be an upset, right? But I do think that there could be good things to take away from this. Where could be some good things that
I'm going to start my first one. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say David Bell.
Is he good?
He's good. He's good at football.
Allegedly. Is he the best player in this game?
No.
Does Purdue have the best player in this game?
There you go. I think he's the second best player in this game.
Purdue might have the 2 best players in this game. Notre Dame might have the next 30. but
George and Bell,
that's good, right?
Really good.
Notre Dame's safety is very, very good. Notre Dame's right tackle is very, very good. Notre Dame's center is very, very good. Notre Dame's tight end is very, very good. Okay,
they have an unlimited number of those big old white guys with the safest hands at tight end ever. It's incredible.
But the funny thing is, you have 2 guys squaring off at tight end that are very similar. I mean, really similar size, similar skill set, similar speed. They both drop the ball unexpectedly every now and again. They're both really good, and I think Notre Dame's tight end is projected to be to be a better NFL player right now. I think Payne Durham, though, gives you no reason to believe he couldn't be. I mean, he's just not known right now.
I think Durham will be. Well, I think he'll be a late pick for sure.
Yeah.
So I mean,
did you call it this?
No, I didn't. But it should be broadcasting under a different name. It should be okay. Don't worry about it. I think and Notre Dame's offensive line doesn't look great. So I think George will have fun. That being said, I don't think Purdue's offensive line is going to have fun. I don't think Jack is going to have that much fun, but I think we're going to have fun watching George in person. Let me tell you, in person, watching George, again, another game that is like another game that the stat line doesn't really say that much. The stat line is like fine, but watching him down after down terrorize people, it's absolutely incredible.
Well, I mean, so I had a good question. I think Jay might ask this later from Twitter.
Shut up, Steve.
Exactly. Shut up,
That's all
Steve.
I wanted to say. Keep going.
Yeah. But we had a good question on Twitter, and I went through Twitter, Jay, not to reveal the questions myself, but just to make sure that I answered everything today that was like not Handsome Hour related. Now I can't remember my thought, and it'll come back tomorrow sometime, which is excellent. And it's all because Steve and you put that on there, and my brain is
very easy. You're very easy to XD.
I don't know what that means.
That's the emoji. You got to get into 2004 here with the emojis.
So I think it might be the Ben Cotton comment. I'm going to help you out here on Twitter.
Okay.
Ben asked. Well, he asked two questions, but the one related to George, he gave us a
yes.
Would you rather. But what I love is when people give us a would you rather where it's like, I don't care. Both are wonderful. It's like, would you rather a national championship or a national championship? I don't know. Surprised me. He says, would you rather George Karlaftis gets 4 sacks or a touchdown off a fumble recovery? Now, obviously, surprised me. It's fine either way. However, defensive touchdowns statistically almost always mean wins, right? One defensive touchdown is really tips the scales. 2 defensive touchdowns, it's almost.
Jay Money, can you confirm this? Do you play to win the game?
You do.
Okay.
Herm tells me that.
So you got to score.
State head coach Herm.
Do you have to?
You want scores?
Do you have to? Score
it's like,
points?
do you want 3 triples or 2 home runs?
Yeah,
I would like the home runs.
Like
1 home run, in fact. Yes.
So I would like points.
Nish will take the points.
A defensive touchdown.
A defensive touchdown, and George doing the scoring.
Let's think back. Let's think back to one of the best. Sports Analytics desk is killing it today. One of my favorite performances ever, and I think Anish was there. I don't think Jay was there. I'm almost positive Jay wasn't there. Was when Kerrigan went off versus Ohio State and led Purdue to the win, right? He did not score, but he had a strip that he recovered. Mm-hmm. But he also had like 3 sacks.
I think like 2 other sacks, a couple hurries. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. He was in Pryor's head. Yes.
And that was enough. You see what I'm saying? So I would say, here's what I made. It was a different question. Someone asked, will George get his first sack this week? And I said, I don't know if he's going to get his first sack, but I think the week he gets his first sack, he will get multiple.
It's wild that he doesn't have a sack yet, to me, because he's almost had hands on him every time.
It's amazing that UConn was able to contain him from a sack, but they also weren't holding onto the ball very long. They were getting rid of the ball.
I'll tell you the one thing that if I were UConn that I'd take away is that John Krasinski's pretty tough at quarterback. He took a lot of hits. Did I say that name right? But that one where George went through his face and got his arms on, I was like, that dude's got to be dead now.
Incredible to watch him and Bell. I mean, that Bell. So we were sitting first row, kind of 20-yard line on the side where David Bell's kind of snake in touchdown happened, where nobody was able to get anywhere close to him. It was just so comical how much more athletic he was than everybody else on the field. But I mean, watching Bell and watching Karlaftis on the field, it is incredible. And so that's really where you have to have faith, is that Purdue has the 2 most talented players. The unfortunate part is Notre Dame has the better team, and that sucks.
They have a lot of good players.
They have a lot of more good players.
A lot of big players.
A lot of strong players.
And it almost doesn't matter. I mean, Purdue's gone up there, and Notre Dame has not been very good. I mean, not been what they are now. And South Bend has a magic that I hate to even call it that because that's more credible. It's giving it more than it deserves.
No, they're just really talented and they're solid. And I know the last 2 weeks has us lulled into this thing where it's like, hey, maybe they'll be over. The other problem is these last 2 weeks, they're hearing a lot of stuff talked about them. And they're hearing a lot of people say, relatively, saying that at least this is going to be a close game and Purdue's going to cover the 7-point spread. I would like nobody to be talking about this, but unfortunately now everybody's talking about it. And that we might get Notre Dame waked up. Like, this might be their wake-up game.
I think having two national websites that kind of matter pick Purdue isn't great for Purdue.
No, it's not great. I would like nobody, just like last week. I want it to be forgettable. Now, unfortunately, last week wasn't entirely forgettable. First of all, I was looking into J Money's eyes, as I am now. Again, we've moved in together. We are just alternating weekends between Pittsburgh and New Jersey. We'll figure it out later.
We'll figure it out. You got to make it work.
But Horvath, like losing Horvath is not great. That was not ideal. And King Daru looked okay. But again, looking okay against UConn is not the thing you want.
Yeah, 5 yards a carry, something like that. I think you said it in the quick cast, 5.5, 6 yards a carry, whatever it was, which is great.
He had over 6. He had over 6 a carry. Yeah. Awesome.
Does it count? I mean, I know it counts in the stats, but does it count? I don't know. I like him. But he's going to have to carry a load this weekend, doesn't he? Now we had yes, because UConn was getting tired. Ian says to us that George probably would have had a sack if he played the whole game against UConn. Yes.
We wouldn't want him to play the whole game.
No.
We saw a great half from David Bell, and that was all I wanted.
There's a question related to that and another George-related question I'd like to get to on Twitter field, because somebody said something about Stubberfield, and my brain can't. Yeah,
no, it's tough. It's tough.
Brian Rubenstein asks, "How big was it this week to get the 2s and 3s? A lot of legit game experience. I don't know about legit game experience. Invariably, injury is a big factor for Purdue, so it could pay big dividends down the road sometime." I think that's I think it was huge, and you talked about this also in the quick cast. Those guys didn't just play. One of the things I noticed was if I were asking Brom questions after the game, I would have said something like, "How happy, are you that those guys didn't just go in there, but they held the shutout. They moved the ball. Everybody went in and did their job in a focused way that you can lose focus when you're dominating a team like that, when it's clearly not a game.
Really good teams lose focus when dominating.
Yes, and the 2s and 3s looked fine, businesslike.
Well, you kind of did their job to scoring, right? I mean, I don't remember feeling like the shutout was off at any point.
I mean, I liked seeing Burton. That was fun. I mean, like the other thing is, like, all of us have been begging, and I think Brom really wants a running quarterback to take the reins. Clearly. And so I think eventually he really wants to hand this offense over to somebody who can run, not just move like Jack can, but like can actually has like legs. You know what I mean?
Well, bad news. If you look at the stable, Alemo and Allen coming in, they're really not running quarterbacks. They're a lot like Plummer, where they have enough to extend a play, but they're not guys you want to call their number a whole bunch.
No.
Especially as they're built right now. I mean, that's.
I think Burton would be okay. AOC would be fine. They looked good, and again, everything was in that UConn game. Everything was fine. But another thing I remember from your quick cast down is like Purdue may have had more challenges in the spring game against against their own defense than they had against UConn. I mean, like,
Purdue had about a challenging 6 minutes in that game.
That first drive didn't look great, and then it was 7 straight touchdowns.
Well, they only scored 7 points in the first quarter, and then they scored 28 in the second quarter.
28
and that was the ball
in the
game,
quarter.
obviously. This is the second time we've been asked this. So Chris Harder asks, how many gadget plays we see? And someone else on Twitter asked a similar question, saying over under 2.5 trick plays from
That's
Brom.
exactly where I'd put it. That makes it hard.
Right around there, 2 to 3.
Yeah.
You think? I feel like he's not done it as much as we sort of expected and hoped he would. And he even talked about early when he first started, like having like 50 trick plays in the bag, something like that.
But we didn't see any at UConn because you didn't have to see.
No, absolutely.
Right. Well, Oregon State, we saw 3. Right.
That being said, though,
yeah, I guess you're right.
I think the Bell, like 2 of them were runs, like the touchdowns or like the long plays that Bell had. A lot of them were strange, kind of, they counted as rushes. Maybe one of them was, a shovel pass, but then one of them actually counted as a run. Getting David Bell the ball behind the line of scrimmage is actually interesting. Yeah. I mean, like, it's different, right? It's not checking.
Although I don't know if I like that against Notre Dame. I'd like him to catch the ball
in the end zone. That's where I would like.
I was going to say in space.
No, I like in the end zone. That's what the point, right?
In the end zone is fine too.
Okay.
I accept that.
Okay.
Payne Durham will, I think, get a lot of balls thrown his way.
That'd be really nice.
A lot thrown his way. Someone else, since we're on the over-under game, we were asked over-under Doc Wattis asked over-under 49.5 pass attempts for Big Snack, he's now calling him, this weekend.
He's earned the big label, Big Snack.
49.5. I think that's a good number too. I think there's a chance.
And I'll say under.
I'll say under, but I think it could be 45. I think he's going to throw the ball over 40 times.
That means third downs have to be converted, or Purdue doesn't get to third downs, and they keep
Purdue's behind and just keeps throwing the ball.
Yeah,
that happens a lot too. If they're behind, they will be throwing.
Or Kangaroo goes off for 125 yards rushing, 24 carries.
No chance. I mean, like, come on.
I mean, that's the most loving way.
The biggest red flag against UConn was that you couldn't really get the run going, even like we wanted to. Now, again, Horvath's injury, not great, all of this, but I think the offensive line, I mean, Notre Dame has some beasts on the defensive line, like in the pass rush, and that's going to be an issue. That's not going to be great.
No.
Notre Dame's offensive line, again,
but we can abandon a bit of what we think we know about Notre Dame the last few years. You really can. If you watch them, they are not the same team. They don't have the same experience. They have talent, but the talent is younger.
It's young.
The guys are not. I'm telling you, this is
especially so on the offensive line. They are younger. On the defensive line, you don't have to be experienced and work together as a unit to have an impact on the defensive line. I think the defensive line is going to wreak havoc. I think George may have a chance of, having a great game and having kind of an NFL films worthy game. Like a draft film worthy game this week, just because Notre Dame's offensive line might not be, the bad, like gelling as and experienced as they would be in, when this unit is together, 2 years from now.
Right. Right.
I mean, they're going to be, next year they're going to be really good. And so that's
the left tackle is vulnerable. The left tackle is vulnerable, but also their two deeps are vulnerable. That's the way I would look at it. So if anything happens, a guy gets nicked up or they get tired for some reason, who knows? I mean, I doubt that'll happen, but they are not as deep as they've been in previous years. And on the other side of the ball, they take risks on defense that don't always pay off. They hurt them versus Florida State, hurt them versus Toledo. Here's the question is, I can tell you there's one thing where I think we all agree. Jeff Brom is really good at seeing weaknesses. The question is, will he have the old Jeff Brom gunslinger mentality to try to kick him after he's gotten them once on it? Or will he kind of hold his cards close to his vest if they get up by 7? That's really my biggest question.
It has to be A. It has to be A.
I mean, but it's the mentality against Ohio State a couple of years ago, right? Where it's like that's when he's okay putting the pressure on them. When it's a team that is close enough, like Minnesota, like that's when he's a little gun shy because he's like, can we just put this away? Can we just run this away? But against Ohio State, if you get an early lead, he's going to keep.
But nothing bad happened to Purdue against Ohio State in that game. No. I feel like when something bad happens is when he turtles.
Yeah.
I feel like with something bad, a pick.
He hasn't seen it this year yet.
Agreed, but he hasn't. I don't mean to belabor this, but how much do we put in that UConn game? They ran a completely vanilla.
You can't put much into it. That was my whole point of my kickoff quick cast, right? Great. We see them beat the hell out of a bad team. You don't really learn a lot other than they did what they're supposed to, which is very professional, which is very grown up, which is good because you got a lot of upperclassmen playing, a lot of guys that are not going to be.
We were terrified last week.
And 49-0 comfortably. You leave the starters in for 3 quarters.
Yeah.
That game is 63-0 easily at that point.
I mean, last week we were worried because we weren't sure what kind of mature team this is. Now, the beat writers are all saying there's something different about this team. There's something weird. There's something older, something a little more mature and settled and all of this. That being said, I don't know if maybe that translates to an interesting and gutsy performance against Notre Dame where they keep it close. But in no universe, honestly, can I see it win.
Let's think about it. Here's an interesting factor, guys. Here's an interesting factor. Something I haven't thought about too much, but I think it's something we can talk about. We can think about. Is some of the guys that play a significant role haven't played in an environment like Notre Dame. Right? Is that fair? So that's something that this is new. This is different because we had
potentially a good thing. You're saying?
I think it could be a good thing. I think it could be like, one of those things where real competitors love that, right? It gets them frothy.
And Drew Brees is right there watching you.
Get some what?
Frothy into a lather.
Into a lather.
So John Faker asked a good question here in the margin. He says, "Does Georgia have a chance of doing what Ryan Kerrigan did against Ohio State?" And I'll tell him no, and I'll tell you why I believe no. It's not because I don't think George is capable of doing that. I think George will do that at some point this year. I think he'll do it against a quarterback that's like Terrell Pryor,
Nebraska,
like where you have a quarterback who has the that's a good
destroying Martinez.
Like, think about it, because Cohn's not going to try to do that. Cohn's not going to say, "I'm going to go toe to toe with Big George."
You know what was hilarious?
Get rid of the ball.
You know what was hilarious? Apparently, Notre Dame fans just looked at his stat line and thought that he was a mobile quarterback.
Yeah,
and we all know that. What
they
are
don't
they
watch
talking
Wisconsin.
About?
That's what that tells you. Indy has a habit of playing down, but not up to the level of their competition. Ian says. Well,
again, the last 2 weeks, yes. But also, like, now there's been a lot of stuff thrown at them, and I am not comfortable with this much, even this much backing up Purdue.
Notre Dame is playing their best team they've played this year, guys.
Yeah,
Make no bones about it. Florida State sucks.
Yes.
Okay.
You think
Notre Dame is playing the best team they've played this year? Notre Dame is playing the best defense they've played this year. Purdue's defense is good. Well, I think, and I'm not. This is kind of going out, but I'm ready to say it. I didn't want to say it last week. I'm ready to say it. Purdue's defense is good. I'm going to say it. Okay?
He said good.
They're good. This is a good defense. This is a defense that takes enough risk. This is a defense that has enough veterans. It's a defense that has enough big bodies, strong bodies, fast bodies. Yeah, they can do some things. Now, are they incomplete? Yes. Defensive backfield is a problem.
No, I genuinely.
I said he likes the secondary. I like the secondary.
Honestly,
too.
Well, I have concerns about corner. Okay, that's my concern.
Even there are two corners that are reliable, and honestly, and there are the safeties are good, and the linebackers that drop into coverage are good. Like, honestly, this is the best that I've felt about Purdue's pass defense in a long time.
Agreed.
Pass rush always solid. Rushing defense,
you've got to go back to Hope's latter years since we've seen a pass rush like this. And that was all predicated. Well, it really was more than Kerrigan. Who was the other defensive end that got a look in the NFL?
Short?
Short? No, he was there for a while.
Okay, not Short.
Was he there for Hope the whole time? But he wasn't an end. He's a tackle.
No, he was a tackle.
Darn it. There's a guy who, he played in the NFL, and I'm going to kick myself in the rear end. Darn it. That's just my brain not working. Somebody in the margin help me out. But there was another defensive end there. So you had a pair of guys that put pressure on quarterbacks. I think this system, guys, I think this system is good. And I think Mark Hagan's influence on the defense, kind of the nastiness he brings, is what we're seeing.
Ryan Russell. Thank you very much.
Ryan Russell. Thank you.
Ryan Russell.
Very good. Very good. Mm-hmm. And Ryan Russell was the guy, he just a friggin' specimen, looked like the part, right?
They were beasts. I mean, that was the prototypical kind of Hope recruit,
Anthony Spencer, I think, graduated during Tiller's years. It's Russell. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
So, because I think he played in the league for 2 years, 3 years, something like that. So.
Robertson just Justin Tuck. That just makes us laugh.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Yeah, that would have been good.
So someone said that Kelly
Aaron Donald plays for Purdue, correct?
I think he did.
Okay.
I don't want to give Brian Kelly, who should probably be in jail, any credit
for killing the kid.
But when someone said that,
is that illegal in Indiana, guys? I don't know the law.
Well,
depends.
I don't know. Depends where.
Are you the Notre Dame football coach?
Yeah, but this is his 12th season at Notre Dame, which is hard to believe.
12 seasons?
This is his 12th season.
We're old, man.
And he followed Weiss, which is crazy. But so in the 11 seasons he has completed, he has 6 double-digit win seasons. So, I mean, I don't know about this whole they play down to their. I think they win They win a lot.
They just
win a lot.
I think they're a solid program. I don't know how else you can see it. It's a solid program. They're not as good as Notre Dame fans wish they were. That's really it.
They're never going to be that good again.
No.
It's Nebraska. This is what Nebraska should be aiming for, is what Notre Dame is now.
I mean,
very good on the
two shots at a national title in 12 years.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That sounds okay to me from where I sit.
I would take that as a Purdue fan.
And they turn out first round NFL players like a factory. Yes. I mean, that's what you want, because that's the type of talent that gets you to the point where you are contending for national titles.
J-Money's had enough of this Notre Dame talk. I know. He's got them.
It happens. Happens everywhere. I don't know why everyone's so embarrassed by it. Why don't we just say it?
We did PNC Park this afternoon. Was very nice, but the food may have had him. It was a quick one. It was a quick run.
Right back. I need more food. I'm getting snacks.
He's a machine. Snacks. Is this going to be an episode we can make fun of you for a couple of years because you're snacking the entire time?
I do enjoy Baby Bell.
What'd you say?
Remember a couple of years ago you snacked an entire Handsome Hour episode?
No,
we didn't let it go. We did not let it go for 2 months.
No.
So good.
You're so wrong. It was you.
No.
Everything. I have so many clips of you.
I don't even own any food. It couldn't have been me. I don't even do that.
You are such a liar.
I don't eat food.
No. The Handsome Hour things with me with food where I put a cookie in my mouth, the entire cookie, right. And Anish saw me do it and immediately pitched it to me. Yep. Instantly turned. He was like mid-thought, and he goes, so what do you think about that?
Oh, that was great. Yes.
Jared Galva says he loves the random shots at Nebraska during the Handsome Hour. You should hang out with us because we just make Nebraska jokes all the time. It's really good. Jay Money, I do have to say, is a wonderful host. It was very good. If you have the chance to stay at Chateau de Money, I would book it 5
almost
stars.
Everybody that's watching live has had that invitation given to them, I believe.
Exactly.
I think so.
Exactly. I just think anybody's taking them up on it.
You just have to find me. Small red, Steve McCabe says. I guess that's about Nebraska. I like that. Well, what we like to shout is black shirts. Whenever they're down.
Black shirts. Got that defense. That vaunted defense.
That's one of Boydell's favorite things.
There was one of the things where it's like when Alabama is up 35-0 on Texas, just go up to the Texas sidelines. Don't do horns down.
No, do horns up.
Because they hate it. Just do horns up.
Good job, guys.
Great job.
Great job.
Horns up. Great job.
I usually, to Texas fans, I just say I love you.
Because they're great.
Think about Texas joining the SEC, though. They're already a mess. But even if they were good, it's going to be like the way Notre Dame. Everyone wants to pound Notre Dame. Everyone in the SEC is going to delight in mashing Texas.
So talking about Notre Dame and Texas again, the tier that you aim for realistically is not what Alabama and Clemson have got themselves to, because that is just another tier of whatever. It is the tier where potentially it's where Notre Dame is, it's where Penn State could be, it's where A&M could be, it's where LSU could be, where if everything falls into thing, right? Little boiler down. If everything falls into line, you could, either compete for or win a national title. USC is in this. That program, when in the right hands, you could be on that tier. Texas could aim for that tier.
Oh, yeah.
Michigan could aim for that, but they don't have the pieces, right now. Notre Dame is solidly in that, where every single year they are in the playoff hunt. And honestly, we hate Brian Kelly here in this part, but it's really tough to beat him. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey guys, if you're watching live, you can see LBD is here with me. And we wanted to do this anyway, just because he's the brains of the operation generally. If I think I hear about a stat, generally comes from him in the morning. He'll read them off during breakfast. So I wanted to give him a chance to give a prediction before we go any further, if that's okay with you guys.
Yeah, so I think that the game will be close, but I think Notre Dame will squeak it out, and I say 28-20.
I could live with that.
Defense keeps them to under 30. There's nothing. Jake keeps shoving cheese into his mouth.
Yeah, he's got a chunk of cheese. He's got one of those bars. It's like a bar of cheddar, and he's eating it like a candy bar, which is unusual.
I've never seen that before. Listen, I don't know if I have the lactate, enough lactate to deal with that much cheese.
Why are you two so concerned with what I'm eating? Why does that bother? What are you so interested?
Hey, if Purdue holds Notre Dame to under 30 points, I would be thrilled.
Well, I mean, what's Purdue got to do to win? Like
score points.
Yes, but what's the minimum Purdue has to score to win this game?
One more than Notre Dame.
It's great.
Thank you. Good night.
I'm gonna say
30 minimum.
Upper half of 30. So let's say 37.
And now the question is, can they score 37 on Notre Dame?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I mean, they have the tools, they have the weapons. So if you want to go into this excited and optimistic because Purdue's 2-0 and looked really good, I think that's fine and wonderful. I've seen this play before.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yep. But you're going to see it in person now.
I am.
So that's the big difference.
I am. And I will see all road games in
and
person.
Jay Money Jr. is going to do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. You might as well buy your Iowa tickets now. The great city of Metropolis of Kinnick.
Metropolis of Kinnick.
So I don't know.
28-3. Steve asks, would I be happy with 28-3? Oh, his point is because holding them to 28.
Oh,
No,
28-3.
That's losing by 25 points. That's a bad loss.
Yeah, which could happen.
I think Purdue's going to score points. I'm not that worried about it. I don't know if they're going to score 40 points.
Before we go, do you want to go to the questions before we give our official predictos?
You caught me off guard here. Oh,
I know.
Here's a Peter Falls Cities takes a shot at Boiler Dowd's golf game.
Yeah, that is. I don't want to say anything back. Okay, I'm not going to say anything because I'm a gentleman.
But he also says he gave us an either or. Would you rather be stuck on a deserted island for a year with Coach Kelly or Coach Weiss?
Oh, Charlie Weiss would be a great hang on an island.
You think so?
Better than Brian Kelly. He's going to eat you.
I was just going to say you could always. Well, Weiss.
Weiss could eat you too. You're right.
You're
right. Weiss is going to eat you.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like these guys are having cheese snacks, both of them.
Kelly will
You
execute.
got a whole
Gosh, they're
charcuterie board over here.
Yeah.
A whole charcuterie board.
I would much rather not go to that island, guys.
Oh, we were asked.
Kelly will
Jim Wood
execute.
asked us. That usually has something's funny over there. What are you pointing at? What's so funny?
Oh, he just said Kelly will kill you if you're on that island. So I said
execute.
Anish has been talking about
He'll
this.
send you up to the palm tree, and then it'll be windy, and
Oh,
he'll
yeah,
say, "No, stay up there. Stay up there.
Go get us a coconut.
We need that coconut."
And he's going to hit the tree.
Yeah.
We were
What do
asked
you
by
know?
Jay-
Oh no, there's a typhoon.
Yeah. We were stay up there. Okay? Practice is not canceled. We were asked by Jay Wood on Twitter to talk about the reversible jacket IU. John Baker asked, "Do you want to be murdered or cannibalized?"
That's pretty much.
Well,
what
if I can be dead before I'm cannibalized,
Preferable. Yes.
Yeah.
After I'm dead, you can do whatever you want.
you know,
Reversible jacket question.
Reversible jacket fans, Purdue IU fans, and I think you are one of the people who hates this more than anybody.
Oh my
just
gosh.
because you have to be around it.
that's right.
But they just asked us to
Purdue
discuss
Notre
that.
Dame fans. Or I mean, IU Notre Dame. You didn't say Purdue.
Is that what I said?
Yeah, you said
Sorry.
Purdue.
IU
right?
basketball, Notre Dame football.
Yeah.
Although IU football, I mean,
Why would you need
with
Notre
Tom
Dame?
Allen, I don't know why you would. You don't need Notre Dame.
Notre Dame should think about hiring Tom
Why
Allen.
doesn't Notre Dame and IU ever play? That's a big question. They play Big Ten teams all the time. I don't know that they've.
I think last time they played was probably in the 80s. No, they played in the 90s, I believe.
We're getting the Boy
IU
Sports
was
Research
awful.
Desk is researching this very quickly with slow chicken finger.
He's got a lot of
cheese.
cheese on his fingers. It makes the keystrokes less
You're
sure.
right.
You know, like
You could actually see.
your
I can
feet
see
will
a
slip off of a rock when it's slick, and when you have dairy products on your fingers, it's hard to
both of you
try
so
to get
much.
a
It's like when you have a keypad, you know
Both of you.
exactly the
Next
things. Okay, Notre Dame, IU.
Notre Dame and IU, their last time they played was 30 years ago this year in South Bend, 49-27. Notre Dame prevailed. The time before that was 1958.
Goodness gracious.
So
I'm going to call collusion. They don't want to break up their fan base. They want to give them a hard decision. Clowns.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And
They
Indiana
don't. Here's the thing, though. They really don't see it's a big deal, though. I mean, they don't care. And that's the thing that's amazing about it. I'm like, I can be angry all I want about it, but They don't care.
The thing is, like, it's a rivalry game every week that Notre Dame has to play anybody, right? Like, no matter what, either they're a draw or it's a rivalry game for the other team. I think Notre Dame cares about USC. I think they care about
Stanford.
I
think they care about Florida State.
Eh.
I think they do a little. In Miami, they used to.
They
care about the high profile. They see themselves as. I always thought it was funny because when USC was great, like in the Pete Carroll years, I don't think they care.
Florida State has been super high profile the last 4 or 5 years, guys.
They've been high profile, but maybe high profile.
Yeah, we didn't get into the transitive property stuff. Now on Sunday,
it's fun.
On Sunday, this past Sunday, the morning after. It was a fun. As I heard on another podcast, it was that day was more fun than it had any right to be.
Oh yeah,
the games that were available were not great games, and they turned out to be really fun. Would have been more fun if Toledo had held on, but you were talking yourself in our little group chat into the whole transitive property. I believe you said Jacksonville State just beat Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville State lost 31-0 to UAB with a quarterback who looks like you. You said,
"Yep." He's fat and short, and the ball looks like that.
That's not a good thing.
No, not as handsome.
No, not even close.
And that Florida State team that lost to that Jacksonville State team that lost to that UAB team almost beat Notre Dame.
So we will win.
So the transitive property suggests that Notre Dame is really bad.
And transitive property, as I always say, always works in college. It's always perfect.
It's like the Charlie from Always Sunny meme where you're just connecting dots and chain smoking cigarettes in the basement.
Yes. Yeah. There's no science here.
So no, you don't see that? You don't feel there's any you don't think there's any validity to this?
I do what I do see, the thing that I see, if let's pretend for a second we were Notre Dame fans, or let's just change the uniforms. That's Purdue this year, and Purdue was top 12 or 15, however that would feel, which we don't.
This is an interesting.
It's a dreamy, but pretend for a second. And we watched them nearly lose to Toledo and nearly lose to Florida State. We'd be like, oh, crap, they're not that good. That's what they're just not that good.
But Purdue also wouldn't be getting any votes at all if they won those 2 games that way, let alone be – what is Notre Dame even ranked right now?
12th, I think.
12th, yeah.
Yeah. They dropped.
They dropped 3 spots.
With a win.
They deserve to drop. They almost lost to a MAC team at home.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you about that. If this game was being played in West Lafayette, would you feel differently?
Would I feel better?
Well, I know you'd feel better.
I don't know if anybody comes into Ross-Ade.
Nobody comes into Ross-Ade. I would be predicting Purdue to win if it were in Ross-Ade.
Ooh. Yeah, it's a big difference.
I think it's a 2-touchdown swing. That's what I'm saying.
There's not much that's a 2-touchdown swing. That's a lot. So you
but
take a touchdown.
In my mind,
10 points
South
away
Bend is a 2-touchdown swing. We've seen good Purdue teams
go
to Notre Dame and lose.
Drew Brees never won at Notre Dame.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't see a world. I don't see it. I wish I could. I really wish I could, but I don't. And the spread right now, currently, it was bet down to 7 points. I think it currently sits at 7.
7.5. It went back.
So it's now back to 7, or it's now a little bit up to 7.5.
Yeah, but it started at 10, right?
Yeah,
it was 11.
Yeah, it was
on
11.
Sunday.
Yeah.
So you guys know I don't bet, but I think that matters because that's real money. That's the thing. That's the way I look at the whole thing.
People are betting Purdue. They're reading all the stuff all week. They're looking at Purdue's point differential, right? What are they at 80 points, right? No, 30 to 21. They're at 79 points, and they've allowed 21.
79 to 21.
Right.
That's why
that's silly. And we all know that part's silly. That's
why some of these models aren't really are a little bit tricked into
haven't given up a touchdown in 2 weeks.
You know what? It's the mighty matchup of two strong 2-0 teams is really what we have to say.
It's really all it is. Let's just say
two teams,
a nearly ranked team versus a ranked team.
And I think I asked both of you this separately.
Yeah.
Let's say Purdue wins this game. Let's just live in fantasy world. They're ranked.
They're ranked.
They're ranked Monday.
Definitely.
They're ranked.
Definitely.
I don't think they would drop right into about 19 or 20.
Wow. Well, you're right because everybody
and Notre Dame would be right next.
Everybody's looking at them like they're better than they are.
And everybody loves Jeff Brom.
People would like to rank Jeff.
The media, this is some, we complained about Purdue basketball not getting media love years ago. We can't do that anymore. But the media loves Jeff Brom and wants him to be successful.
What was that?
They want him.
The audience is missing J Money's Knuckle Cam, sponsored by Martin Vintage Gridiron Metalworks and AJ's. Eat AJ's.
Hey,
on the way.
Don't have a knuckle sandwich. Eat a burger at AJ's.
Look at that. Man, that's why he's the best in the business. That's why he's
right.
the best in the
Mr.
business.
Segway. That's what they call me.
You should be ashamed of your
Mr.
father.
Segway.
You should be
That's because you drive around on a Segway.
That's true. That's true. And I always wear a helmet, though, guys. Even
I
in
like
the
that
neighborhood.
Jeff's looking. Put this one up.
Yeah, wait. So first of all, Jeff, Jeff just got here. What did he miss?
Let's back it up.
Massive amounts of professionalism.
Roll it back.
So let's, have they talked about how
Jeff, what else can we? This
we'll
is the
just
Jeff
catch you
show.
up. We'll just catch you up. It's fine.
How about
there
let's
other
not
questions?
answer that and let's let Jeff go review the tape.
Review the tape.
Yeah.
Review the tape.
Exactly.
It's all
Any
on the
other
tape. We
questions?
talked about it. It's all on the tape. I know we've got a ton of good questions via the Twitter and my phone, which is going to be fun to listen to. But do you have any more thoughts, LBD?
I was looking at the depth chart earlier, and
This is
their freshman quarterback, they brought him in last week. I don't remember his name. I think it's like Buchner or something.
Ran the ball twice.
He runs the ball. He can run, unlike Cone. So
Did he run the ball 6 times and passed 3 times, or vice versa?
I
think he was in for
probably
9
running.
downs. He had a good point too. We were muted a minute ago, and we were talking about matchups. He said Trice will be matching up with Notre Dame's 6'2" receiver. I talked about him on the quick cast. Then Mackey will be matching up with a 5'10", 5'9" receiver. On the other end of the ball, or the other side of the ball, Bell is going to be going against a 6'1", 6'2" corner, and their other corner is 6'1", 6'2". Notre Dame has pro bodies all the time, right? Even if they're young and even if they're still long, they're still strong guys, So that's
how many sacks do you think Karlaftis gets?
that's we already talked about that.
I would hope 1 or 2.
We already talked about it.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
Review the tape. Review the tape.
Review the tape.
Well,
It's not
we
the
realize
not
he
the
doesn't have
LBD
any
show.
yet.
Alvin
We
Jack,
realize-
exactly.
We realize he doesn't have any yet, which is incredible. So, you think he gets his first ones against Notre Dame? I mean,
Yes.
I think he does. I think he
Yes.
does. I would
That
say
would be.
yes.
I'd be very excited.
It would be cool.
I would say if he got 2, that'd be fantastic.
Oh, that'd be great. Okay.
What a
If he
Twitter
gets 2, do you say Purdue wins? Because we were trying to find a no. I agree.
No.
That's not enough.
I'm not even sure I feel good if we go with the other scenario someone put up there where he gets a defensive touchdown.
If defensive points are scored, I feel great about
Purdue
those
wins.
chances. I don't think defensive points will be scored. I know I've called it for both of the last games. We'll save it for Illinois. We'll save it for Bert in his audition for the Iowa job. But
Audition for the Iowa
I
job.
don't think
Okay, a couple of questions.
He's not doing very well in his
From
audition.
Boiler Butter, who's
like health wise or like his
Any of it.
We're looking at
Any of it. Pick a category.
Are we looking at
Pick a
Twitter now?
category. Was there a question from the gallery there?
No, go ahead.
No. So Boiler Butter, who goes by Purdue Balls on Twitter, he's asking, what's with these Johnny Come Latelys thinking they can just skip right in, switch their team colors to black, and get away with it? And I think he mentions Tom Allen to start with. IU wearing black jerseys. I have to agree. Black's not your team color, then you shouldn't be wearing black jerseys.
No, here's okay. I'm going to say this on a Purdue podcast that has nothing to do with IU. The crimson and it's just wear the crimsons. They're gorgeous. Just wear them.
Gorgeous is strong.
Yeah, with the crimson, with the script Indiana.
Yeah, no, it's not bad.
It's beautiful.
It's not bad.
It's
You're
a
right.
beautiful design. Stick with your colors.
Nah.
Don't wear black. Don't wear.
Wear black.
I think no.
Yes,
I
wear
know
black and
this is
gold.
an unpopular opinion. Purdue's grays are
Creamed
terrible.
it.
I hate all gray uniforms.
Boiler
but-
hates the grays.
But the team loves.
For practice, yeah.
Like apparently the team really.
team does
enjoy-
like it.
the
I think
team-
they're horrible. Here, they're horrible for a different reason, though. They don't make any sense with the rest of the uniforms. If they wore grays
I see
that
that
match the
wearing
uniforms,
I wear gray all the time.
right? We're gray with the black cow clear on the top with pants that aren't a different color gray. Like, I think they're so poorly done. Like,
Yeah, I don't like the grays at all.
yeah, I don't like them. I'm out. I hate those uniforms.
Yeah. It's the real name.
So we had a food question. We got a food question from the Noodle because I said throw anything in there,
Of course.
and he says cooking question: best fish to cook on the grill,
Ooh,
and how are you doing it?
Okay, let me answer this question. What I like to do is I take a nice sea bass, okay,
Okay.
and I'll
Straight from the
fillet
pond,
it. I'll
right?
take it straight from the pond in the back, and I'll fillet it. Okay, squeeze some lemon butter. I've made oh, it's really good. Squeeze it on there.
The wrist.
Now I get some fresh cracked pepper, and then I throw it back in the pond. Get the hell out of here with that putting fish on the grill. We're going to put beef on there. We're going to put chicken on there. We're going to put pork on there. We're not putting fish on my grill. Dag nabbit.
That took a hard line.
That was, you didn't see that coming. That made me
I fish on the grill.
I'll tell you one. I do a really good job.
Halibut. That's it. That's the list. Just halibut.
Well, swordfish is good on the grill, but I do a very nice big sea scallop on the grill.
Oh, I would eat that. I would eat
Toss those in some butter and some oil. Oh.
Yeah, sea scallops are good because it's like you've taken the steak and just eaten the fat, not the meat.
That's not. I don't think you've had a sea scallop.
Nasty.
Jeff
I don't
calls
put
it
that in my
beluga.
mouth. That doesn't go there. Gross.
I do enjoy a good salmon.
Oh, well, I guess that I didn't know we were gonna have such strong.
Yeah, see that's I got the American Fish Council is going to be all over me, aren't they? I don't want them after me again. They've done it before. Gosh.
We got a question
calls,
from
emails.
John wants to know if we can cook fish in the microwave.
Fish sticks, sure.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Tags in another tweet, but he wanted us to answer. Name a college football player that you grew up watching that you really, really miss. That's
You got
tough
some different eras.
I was going to say we go back a ways, right?
Yeah. Mine's Jim Everett.
Really?
Yeah, love Jim Everett. He's my favorite. When I was young, love Jim Everett.
I got one that's going to surprise you. Obviously, my favorite Purdue player when I got there was because he was there when I got there was Mike Allstott. I just loved watching him just run over people when Purdue was bad, and there was no other play but hand the ball to Allstott, and he still would just mow over people. It was amazing.
That was fun.
It's because he was an NFL fullback
I
playing
mean,
college football.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I always think back to that I enjoyed watching when we were in college was Cordell Stewart. He was amazing in college. Colorado.
Oh yeah.
He was great. He was like, I don't know. He was the first of those.
I mean,
those guys who could do kind of. Then they made him a wide receiver. They just would do whatever.
but like, talking about the only other time IU football has been interesting. Randall L. was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean,
very good.
for me, my favorite Purdue player has been and will always be Ryan Kerrigan. I mean, the amount of times he saved a hapless Purdue team. Yeah. I mean, like it just.
That boy spent a lot of time in the weight room. God bless him.
Oh yeah, especially after Purdue.
Ate a lot of protein shakes.
Oh yeah, that's how you get.
That's how you get big.
That's how you get.
That's how you go from like a little round baby fat face to like just freaking
a lot
shredded.
of protein. Yeah, right. A lot of protein, lean meat.
So white pants, white shirts, gold helmets on Saturday. And here's my only. There's two problems I have with this. Obviously, Purdue in white is basically a.
I have bad feelings about that uniform. I hate that uniform.
And here's the other thing. I like being superstitious about silly things, and I think Rom does too. And the black helmets, they started the season with back-to-back games of black helmets, which is not something they've done a lot. And they're 2-0. Where are the black helmets? Keep wearing them. Notre Dame's going to wear gold. So why are you wearing gold helmets? I know it's your color, but
Grammy will be confused.
Yeah, that's true. My mom will be confused.
I'll get a text from my mom telling me the game's on. You've seen that I tweet those out.
Those are great.
She'll be like,
"Stop everything." My mom tells me the game's on.
No, she asked me during.
She just wants to make sure
the
you're not busy.
She asked me during the UConn game if Plummer did something wrong. Why was he out of the game? Is he hurt? Is Brahma happy with him?
Brahm didn't like.
I was like, you know what? He didn't think that was good enough.
Hey, can I ask a quick question? Just going back a half step.
Oh, sure.
What type of what type of fish do you guys like to cook in the microwave at work?
Oh well.
See, that's how you make enemies. People will hate you more than anyone.
Fish soup,
the cold fish
chowder,
soup.
a chowder,
a nice
little bubble and splatter all over the microwave.
Yes, exactly.
When I saw that tweet, I did think that we were doing the astronaut jerseys, but John figured they should have worn the astronaut uniform.
They're not coming back.
Of BB launching, boiled out launching fish into the moon.
Hopefully,
they're not coming.
They're not coming.
At least the helmets.
They're not coming.
At least
They're not coming.
That was a special edition thing.
I went to Jay Money's house yesterday. He's got. I mean, this week. It was basically yesterday. He has an absurd amount of those mini helmets.
Yeah, absurd is the right word.
It's really good.
Someone on this podcast has contributed to that. I don't even know.
I think
15.
I was gonna say.
You don't know the count?
Easily over 10.
I don't. They're not even all mounted yet.
No. I think
Can I give a preview of something that might be coming out soon for Boiled Sports? Can I do that? I'm not going to say the whole thing because I'm not allowed to.
Sure.
But we may have a sponsor soon that will help feed Jay's addiction to mini helmets.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. It's in the works. It's in the works.
It's in the works.
More cool stuff that you might be able to. In fact, if we get that sponsor, we should give a lucky listener something.
Oh yeah.
From that sponsor. We should figure out a way to do that.
It's a good idea.
Anish has lots of money. He can fund it.
You've seen this kitchen that we're the podcasting kitchen is like
900 square foot kitchen.
It's the podcasting kitchen.
Yeah.
That's just all we do. It's just cheese and podcast. Yeah. That's all that's here.
So do you have just a cheese refrigerator at your house?
Yes.
Some people have beer refrigerators.
I have a drawer just for cheese. Yes.
Beer fridge, wine fridge, cheese fridge.
Everyone in my house likes cheese. And you should too. And I don't understand why we're perseverating.
That's right. No other big fridge. Just a beer fridge, a wine fridge, and a cheese fridge.
Yeah.
That's it. Doesn't that sound cultured? I don't understand. Charcuterie.
I love it.
It's the second reference to charcuterie in this podcast. Right. Don't let anybody say that it's not.
That we're not classy. Exactly.
Classy. Exactly.
Hey, John ordered a shirt from Martin Vintage. Enter code BOILED.
And they have free shipping going on. Where have I heard that before? Listen to the whole show, John.
Gosh, John.
Listen, he's backing us up here. Let's not get
He's
mad.
also taking a few shots.
He's taking shots. It's okay.
Yeah, John can be pretty mean when he wants to, but it's funny when he's mean. So I like that.
I think Purdue loses high 30s to high 20s.
Yeah.
It will be fun. Karlaftis will get a sack, but in the end,
what have I said basically since before Brom was here? I just want to have fun watching football.
I just hope.
I don't want him to lose 28-3. That would be boring.
Hey, can you bring up this comment here? Bring up this comment on the screen.
Which one?
Yeah, that one.
Whoever that helmet sponsor may or may not be would absolutely do a giveaway. I've heard. Dylan, that's great.
Dylan.
That's great. Maybe you should do our negotiating for us as we bring that sponsor on board. No excuses, John. Why would you be late? You should be at the ready. We don't schedule these at times you would know. The real fans are just always watching.
Always ready.
The Boiled Sports
always
feed.
ready.
Yeah. Well,
because it might go live at any moment.
You don't always know.
A 5 p.m. live.
5 p.m. on a Thursday.
But that reminds me of something. Subscribe to the YouTube feed.
Smash that like button.
Smash that like button.
Wherever
Hit the bell.
You see the
Hit
button.
the bell.
Yeah.
Ding.
Yeah.
Because our algorithm, that's how we make all of our monies. We've made no monies. We don't make any monies.
No money.
There are plenty of monies in
We're
the BS
basically
coffers.
paying you guys to buy t-shirts.
Exactly. There are Rocks glasses still for sale. Actually, are there Rocks glasses still for sale?
Rocks glasses.
Legitimately, we might be out of
Rocks.
Rocks
You got a baker's dozen?
We've got, beautiful
I keep
shirts.
a few aside for Michael because he breaks one every 6 months. Yes.
LBD asked the question, how many broken glasses do we have left?
There's
no, I don't have any broken ones.
There's one in the basement if you would like to use it today.
Oh, man.
Glue it together.
You kept the broken one?
I did. What am I going to do?
Yes.
No, I can't.
You threw away the one that broke when we were all in Lafayette?
Yeah,
but keep a broken one. Come on, they're not that sentimental. I can get more.
I kept it.
Don't even. Don't
John, thank you for admitting that because that's something we all struggle with. It's okay to admit it.
What's your predictos? Let's end this. We're at the hour.
Yeah, we're well over an hour. What's
nice.
What's your you think they're going to lose? You said there's a two score swing being home versus away.
Yep.
So I'm going to do some extrapolating and see what you think would happen.
My official is 28-38.
Okay, 38-20.
Yeah, let's say 39-30. That's what I'd say. It'll be.
Ooh, I like that. See, but I like that because that would be such a fun day.
It'd be okay.
It'd be fine.
It'd be great. And
I'm not going in expecting a win.
But it's not going to be like at the end of the game, there's one possession for Purdue to win. That's what I just don't. I think it'll be just out of reach.
And I'll ask a question that gets asked to us sometimes, even though it's a stupid one. But I'm going to ask it anyway because I'm nothing if not stupid. Would you rather lose decisively, even if you get some point, 38-20, right? Or would you be able to stomach what happened to Toledo because it's exciting that you almost won?
No, I don't.
Almost winning is worse.
I don't want that.
No.
I don't want that at all, and I don't want it. I don't want the refs to be involved at all because they were involved in the Toledo game.
If that was Purdue, if they were in the same situation, they would have knelt. So
they would have knelt.
So last year,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Last year, the problem was to LBD's point. the Minnesota game kind of derailed everything, right? That could have gone one way or the other, and that kind of derailed.
I only saw half that game.
That being said, if it's a close game like that against Notre Dame, I think that actually propels Purdue this season. That gives them confidence. So I actually kind of want that. Like, I would rather.
We wanted to come out of September 3-1.
Yeah.
And
Bert,
as I said to you guys, if they're 3-0 after Saturday and they still wind up 3-1, I'll be so angry.
No, I will be. It'll happen.
Minnesota.
So I would rather let's just find a way to beat Bert. That's fun.
I want to beat Bert.
Yeah,
pretty badly. Yep. I want to beat him up badly. I don't care whether I want to beat Frost and PJ. And IU, not because I respect Tom.
That's 5 wins right there. My math would say we'd be at 5 right there.
They got 10 games to go. They got to go 4-6 in their next 10 games.
That
sounds a lot more
easy. It's easy.
They can easily go.
No problem.
They can easily go 2-8 in that span.
They could.
I know they could.
So
I've seen it before.
I've seen it before. Right. There could be. I mean, Michigan State's okay. Northwestern's bad this year.
Jeff Brom never loses at Iowa. No, that's never. That's a win.
Just
absolute win. Automatic W.
Iowa doesn't look good at all this year.
Ferentz has had trouble with Purdue.
But I don't. He doesn't have that awful white cornerback playing for him right now, does he? Yeah. That guy was awful.
He could.
The guy that Mahungu beat like 7 billion times on the outside. Yeah. Goodness. It's like you put me in at corner for a game. Let's try it out. He tries hard. He seems like a nice guy. Let's put him on the outside.
I would take that. They were about to put us in the UConn game. We were fifth string. We didn't quite get it. Actually, Jay Money was the fourth punter because 3 punters
played.
Oh,
3 punters in 4 punts.
The lights are flashing.
Yeah, it's like the bar closing.
The lights are flashing in my house. I forgot to pay a bill. We might be gone soon. What's your prediction?
Mine?
Yeah.
I like where you guys are at. I feel like 38-28 feels like a,
Can be good.
Honestly, do I really think they're going to score that much? I don't know.
You don't know if they'll score 28 points?
You think Purdue's a lock to score 28 points?
No, I'm not skeptical. I don't think that's a stretch. I don't think getting to 30 is a stretch. I think the idea of people saying getting to 40 and you win. Yeah. They get to 40.
What do you think this Notre Dame defense is compared to the Oregon State defense?
Oh, it's better than that.
Way better.
Yeah. How much better?
If they're a couple points
I don't think they're way better than Oregon State's defense.
Because if they scored 30 on Oregon State, then
and let's say Notre Dame's a touchdown better than Purdue's in the low 20s.
Yeah, that'd be tough.
That'd be tough. Then George has to have a day.
The offense really has to click. They weren't really clicking in that until the fourth quarter. They weren't really, or the third, middle of the
They have
third,
every reason to feel good about
keys to the game. Here's the keys to the game. It really is. Put pressure on Cone. Put pressure on Cone. That's it.
Yeah.
Force him to make plays.
That's going to be harder to do than you think. Harder to do than you think. He's going to get the ball out quickly. And he throws. I think you were saying it in your quick question, right? He's very accurate down the field.
Yeah. Oh, he throws a beautiful deep ball.
What do you say it looks
beautiful.
Like? What do you say it looks like he's doing though?
Oh no, that's a different guy. Yeah, it's not him. Yeah. No, it's
I'm sure it was a good analogy. I'm sure it was throwing something heavy.
No, it's another Wisconsin quarterback threw with his wrong hand for his whole career.
Yes.
He didn't even realize
That's the guy that went to Florida State.
It looked like he's the wrong-handed guy.
Yeah.
Was that Ben Bassinet? Who am I thinking of? No, that was Northwestern.
No, it was right before.
Different honky
He went to Florida State after.
Yeah, not good either. That's the funny thing. You go to Wisconsin, you're not a very good quarterback. You're a game manager, and teams are like, yes, please come start here. We're Florida State. We couldn't find a quarterback. We're Notre Dame. Where would we find a quarterback?
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah.
So Purdue win this week. Huh?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll take it.
March to a 12-0 season. We'll be back when Purdue's 3-0.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
If we do, Jay Money has to buy a ticket to Iowa, and he's not going to be funny. He's not going to be fun. I'll go with you.
Hey, okay. I'll go. Wait, I'll try.
Oh boy.
We can't. We're going to South Carolina that day.
He couldn't drive there. I was going to say, what are you going to do? Drive? But he can't drive
actually
there
help
now.
With the driving.
Jeez,
that's terrifying.
That's terrifying. Anyway,
my son's not helping with the driving out here.
No, he's the one. He's not helping. He's the one actually doing it. So.
Washington played defense last game.
Anyway,
DJ Washington.
So that's it. Purdue's going to win. We're going to go 3-0 on March to 12-0. It's going to be great. We'll talk to you next week.
Love you guys.